Good evening here live at the Adirondack Bank Center in Utica, where in just over a half hour from now, the Utica Comets will take on the Laval Rocket in the first of two in another weekend with North Division contests. Now, this will be the first meeting of the season between these two teams, and night in Utica, another Friday night home game. The Comets will then take a cruise down the thruway to face the Syracuse Crunch tomorrow night. It's been a roller coaster season for the Comets, who sit at 3-4-0-1 through 8 games, and after a win over Rochester last Saturday, look to begin their first winning streak of the season. Utica has fared decently against divisional opponents thus far, at 3-2 against teams from the north, but they're still searching for some consistency in their game. Well, there's no better time than the present to find it, as the Comets are amid a stretch of 9 games out of 10 in division.
If it's not fun to look at the standings when every game is a 4-point game, even at this time of year, Game 9 of the season is just as important as Game 72. So when you have 4 games in a row coming up against divisional opponents, you know those ones have extra importance. You play these teams a lot. We see a lot of Rochester, see a lot of Syracuse, so there's a pretty good familiarity, and sometimes that breeds a little contempt as well. So we're expecting a hard-fought game as we move into these weekend series.
The Comets drop the puck with the Rocket again in just over a half hour from now. The team will then head to Syracuse to open up this year's Galaxy Cup Series tomorrow night. That is also a 7 o'clock puck drop. Also coming up tonight, plenty of other local fall sports teams continue their quests for championships. A couple of games have already gone final today. As we showed you at 5, Morrisville-Eaton topped Frankfurt Schuyler 30-28 in a wild one at the JMA Wireless Dome to capture the Section 3 8-man football title. It's the first section title in Warriors program history. Now, wrapping up just a little while ago, unbeaten Dolgeville earned back-to-back Section 3 Class D titles, beating Beaver River 44-24. That's the Blue Devils' 19th section titles all-time. That is most in the section. In the college ranks, MVCC women's soccer took on Delta College at Wareham Stadium in Herkimer in the NJCAA Division III semifinals. The Hawks and Pioneers played to a 1-1 draw, but MV won the penalty kick shootout 4-2, and so the Hawks advance to the national championship game for the first time since 2013. That is on Sunday. Now out at Genesee Community College in just a few minutes at 6:30, the Herkimer College men's team will be taking on the host Cougars in the national semifinals. The Generals are searching for a spot in Sunday's national championship game as well, and a chance for a would-be record 11th national title. I'll have highlights of that one also on the Express. In fact, I'll have highlights of all these games coming up for you tonight at 11 here at the Adirondack Bank Center. The Comets and the Laval Rocket are set to do battle. Warm-ups getting underway in just a few minutes from now. I will see you on the other side of this one. News Channel 2 at 6 will wrap up after the break. On the ice, the Utica Comets began another big weekend with a pair of games against North Division opponents, both tied with the Comets with 7 points in the standings. Tonight, in Hockey Night in Utica, they began the back-to-back at home against the Laval Rocket. It was a Veterans Day celebration at the Adirondack Bank Center. The Comets honoring our nation's heroes with special camouflage-themed uniforms with the old Utica Devils logo on it. Pretty sharp. In goal, making his Comets debut, Isaac Poulter. In the first, nearly 13 minutes in, Comets down by 1. Rocket looking for more. Xavier Simoneau's shot stopped by Poulter. Anthony Richard jams home the rebound, and Laval doubles up their lead to 2. So the Comets have work to do, and they get right on it. On the power play, Brian Hallinan towards the net, redirected in front by Zach Sinishin upstairs, and Utica is on the board within 1. Less than 2 minutes later, Comets with more pressure. Point shot is blocked. Check out the effort from Samuel LeBairs. Superman's in the slot, sprawling out and chipping it over the poke check of Kevin Poulin. That's laying it all on the line. We're even at 2. Just 16 seconds after that, Comets swarming. Ryan Schmelzer to Hallinan. In front, Andreas Janssen puts home the one-timer. Utica with an offensive explosion. 3 goals in 2 minutes, 34 seconds. And the Comets take a 3-2 lead after 1. In the second, another power play for Utica, but Laval's got a 2-on-1. Danik Martel Snipe. What a rip. Bar down as he ties it back up at 3. Past the midway point, Comets have a 5-on-3 now and take advantage. Graham Clark finds Janssen down low. Touch pass backdoor to Brian Pino for the slam dunk. Utica back on top 4-3, but the Rocket would tie it back up before period's end, so it'd be tied at 4. Richard would then score in overtime to give Laval the victory. Comets do get a point in the standings, but fall 5-4 in OT. Next up, Crunch in Syracuse tomorrow. And coming up